Welcome to the Health Sciences Library Information 101 tutorial on copyright and plagiarism. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to define intellectual property, plagiarism, and copyright, state the difference between paraphrasing and quoting, state the importance of citing the work of others, and identify two common style manuals. This tutorial addresses Information Competency 5, synthesize and summarize information to produce original content appropriate for an intended purpose to include a well-formatted bibliography. And Information Competency 6, demonstrate understanding of intellectual property and copyright laws, including plagiarism, the ethical use of information, and fair use. Now that you've learned how to find information through our other tutorials, you need to be able to synthesize that information to produce original content. Paraphrasing and quoting from the sources you've gathered are ways to convey information correctly. To do this with integrity, you need to understand intellectual property and copyright to avoid plagiarism. Crediting the owner or producer of information is important. It is required by the college's Student Code of Academic Integrity and Professionalism. It is also a legal requirement for copyrighted material. Why is this, and what do you need to do about it? Let's start with plagiarism. Plagiarism is the appropriation of another person's ideas, processes, results, or words without giving appropriate credit. The ideas, processes, results, or words described here are the intellectual property of the author or creator. Plagiarism includes purchasing a paper, copying a paper or part of a paper without attribution, paraphrasing or attempting to put in your own words the theories, opinions, or ideas of another without proper citation, inadequately or inaccurately using citations, fabricating a citation, reusing your own previous work without appropriate citation, or incorrectly assuming a fact or idea is common knowledge and therefore not providing a citation. Now you understand intellectual property and plagiarism, but where does copyright come in? Copyright is a term that describes the legal right of authors to exclusively control the communication, copying, and/or distribution of their work, and to collect royalties when they're used by others. As a student, you usually do not seek copyright permission to use someone else's work, like a table or figure, for example, when you are not publishing. As long as you cite the author and work, you've done due diligence. However, you may have to get permission to reproduce the work of others in your master's thesis or dissertation. A librarian can help you identify the owner of the work and determine the correct way for you to seek permission. Whether you are required to seek formal copyright permission or not, you do need to correctly attribute the works of others. You may convey the intellectual property of another author to your reader by either paraphrasing or quoting directly. When you paraphrase, you put their words into your own words. When you quote, you reproduce their words exactly. Whether you are paraphrasing or quoting, you must cite the author's work and include a reference to the work in a bibliography. True or false? When I paraphrase, I do not need to include a reference to the paraphrased work in my bibliography because I am using my own words. That is false. The paraphrased work is still the intellectual property of the author. You must cite it. Common styles used at the college to cite the work of others are APA, which refers to the American Psychological Association style, and AMA, which refers to the American Medical Association style. Each of these styles is written as a manual, which includes standards for writing and citing. The Health Sciences Library has print copies of these style manuals, and the AMA style manual is also available online through the library. Librarians have created guides that cover the basics of these two styles. These are available on the library's website. A reference to a journal article in a bibliography done in APA style might look like this. The in-text citation would look like this. A reference to a journal article in a bibliography done in AMA style might look like this. The in-text citation would look like this. Remember, even if you only use a figure or table from an article, you would have to cite the article. Keep in mind that the rules for each style vary depending on the type of resource you are citing. A reference to a website is different than a reference to a book, which is different than that of a government report. These types of work and others have to be cited appropriately. It's up to you to learn the requirements of the style you're assigned, but you may make an appointment with a librarian to learn how to cite properly. True or false? I do not have to cite information I find on a website. This is false. Even information freely available on the internet must be cited. RefWorks and EndNote Online are two bibliographic management systems that help you cite properly. Librarians offer classes, consultations, and webinars on both of these products. If you have any questions, please contact us.